This is a short introduction to Team 1 in the citizenship group, which is called Citizenship Between the Cosmopolitan and the National and the What about Teaching. You are supposed to work with this theme from the January 28th until February the 10th. I'll suggest that you first view the video clip with the very short, a few minutes, called Globalization and the Cosmopolitan Citizenship. And then, of course, as you are going on with this thing, you're viewing this short introduction to the article Cosmopolitanism, Nationalism and Citizenship and Classroom. There's a link beneath, you can see it on this site. Of course, then read this article. And the most important thing, here's what you are supposed to do. You are supposed to work together with your fellow students from the other Nordic countries. So read the questions on the page, on this Google page, and then give some response and comments to the questions and also to your fellow students. It's very important that you work together and build some knowledge together. The knowledge you're supposed to use when you come to Nordorden. So to make this process a success, you are supposed to make at least 2 responses or comments a week in all of the 3 periods in the virtual period. And you can see on the site there's a field to post comments and so on. As you can see, this is, as a matter of fact, a Google site, so it's also possible for you to, of course, to post in some, if something you say, or pictures, or whatever will be function in your response. The Nordic welfare states were founded about 100 years ago, and it was the welfare state was closely connected to the nation state. And this is also why this the word, the conception of citizenship is until now at least almost always connected with something about a person and a state, a nation state. In the Nordic countries, the state plays a crucial role in the education and welfare of the citizen. Important principles within the Nordic welfare states are equality of opportunities, equitable distribution of wealth, and so on. And so this is a citizenship. This is rights and also some obligation, and it was close connected to this national conception that we have some special obligation to our countrymen, because they are of the same nationality, and we don't have the same obligation to other people from other countries. But as you all know, in several ways, we live in a globalized world, and now we have to think perhaps in another way concerning citizenship, and this is about this more cosmopolitan and not so much national way of thinking. The article that you are supposed to read, don't think they are that cosmopolitanism excludes nationalism. They are compatible. So this is one thing that we have to discuss. The term cosmopolitanism derives from the Greek word cosmopolites, which means citizen of the world, and expresses an idea that all human beings, regardless of national, religious, cultural or political affiliations, should be seen as members of the same community. But of course, as the article says, we can't in the school develop our obligation, develop the pupils' obligation to their own society in the same way as it could not be the same obligation to the whole world. So one of the point of an article that you can see at page 87, it's one of the aims of the school must be to to educate the young people as members of citizen uh, in one in their own society and as a member of citizen in the whole world. As that means that they both have to be cosmopolitans and national people. Foremost, the article discuss moral or ethical cosmopolitanism, which have something to do with rights and duties. But he also mentioned some other kinds of cosmopolitanism, where he talk about the cultural thing, which means the right to have a meaningful life, where you can collect something from other part of the world, and also the economic thing, which has to something to do with the globalization of the capital, and also the fourth thing is the political thing, the political way of thinking of the thing, which has something to do with the cooperation of the states. You can see it, for instance, in the European Union and other places of the world where you have where states cooperate political. But here we will stick to the ethical thing. Cosmopolitanism, I can't say it, I can pronounce it, and of course also something about the education and the teaching. So here comes some of the questions. Here are two questions that you can discuss. But of course, if there's something else in this article that you want to discuss, you can do it. You're free to do it. Both questions is about ethical cosmopolitanism, and you can read the section called Cosmopolitanism and Nationality, page 89 to 91. And here I have made a sort of very broad thing that you can discuss. Try to define specific groups from people close to your family. Sorry for the wrong spelling. To humanity as such, that we as humans have different levels of obligation to give examples of this obligation in your opinions, of course. And you can, if it's a little difficult, I'll suggest that you could start with the dilemma. This is something you can read on page 90. There was something about the disaster. Who will you save? And as you can see, the second question is about teaching. Formulate some concrete ideas on how you in your teaching, perhaps in a particular topic, may give the concept for citizenship a more cosmopolitan dimension.